Well, Justin is in the house. In our weekly video series. It's fun. It's such an honor to have you here, buddy. And it's awesome to work with you and all the great work that we're doing. But we got to start with something first. We're making some coffee and some great rum right now. The things that we're not allowed to do in the restaurant, correct?
Well, these are different times, so we have rum at noon now.
Well, it's a little bit past noon, but
past noon. Cheers,
we'll
chef.
take it out there. The French in me has a little cognac in it,
There you go.
we're still good. Our director, what do you have in there, director? Oh, you have Kahlua. All right.
Nice.
So Justin, this video and all that stuff, it's awesome. But a lot of what we're doing, trying to help our industry, the North Stand, which is a foundation that in partnership with the Sunny Foundation that we co-founded with Northbound Lydia. This is what we do this for. And so please make sure you help our industry by going to the northstand.org. So
They need it.
Yep.
They need it.
Look at these cool t-shirts coming up.
T-shirts, get your stickers.
There you go. Watch my back.
Love it.
So what are we doing out here, Chef?
Last week we hung out, and in the south of France they make crepes, and in the in the south of the United States we make biscuits. So kind of continuing what Chef Beam has been doing with his batters and breads and doughs. I figured we'd do some nice Southern home-style buttermilk biscuits today. What do you think?
I love it. I mean, I just want to make sure we are clear here.
Yes.
We're not trying to take over Jason Matheson's biscuit business. Okay,
Yes.
Jason? But we're coming.
We're coming.
We're coming.
We love you, Jason.
We love you a lot. And actually, Jason's biscuits are awesome.
Phenomenal.
We featured them at Target Center one of those nights. I mean, besides Jason being the show,
Right.
The biscuits were a close second. So
at Potluck, I had the pleasure of having a stall right next to him, so I saw those biscuits being made every day, every morning. They'd bring them over and feed our staff. So can't wait to get back to work with you, Jason, at Potluck. But today we're gonna make my biscuits.
Justin said that his biscuits are better. I just want to let you know that.
I don't know about that. I don't need Betty and Earl coming back after me. Oh, funny. All right, Chef. So with these biscuits, just a very, very basic buttermilk biscuit recipe. We're going to start with 2 cups of all-purpose flour.
Cool.
We're going to go with about a tablespoon of baking powder, which along with the butter is going to be our leavening agent.
So leavening, it's just to make sure that they're rising a little bit, correct?
Yep, they're rising a bit. And with biscuits, the real leavening is coming from the steam that that escapes from that butter. That's going to give you those nice crispy, flaky layers. But the baking powder just helps that out along a little bit. And just about a teaspoon of salt.
Awesome.
So generally we would like to sift this, to get that salt, get that baking powder kind of all evenly mixed together. With a small batch like this, when you're doing it at home, a whisk, a pronged fork, anything like that, just to make sure that that baking powder is evenly distributed throughout the flour.
Or my favorite tool, your hands.
Your hands. And biscuits are very much a hand tool. Anybody's Southern grandmother anywhere, nobody ever really uses a recipe for biscuits or any measuring tools.
Yeah.
It goes a lot.
By gut.
It's by gut and it's by feeling. Like we were talking about with crepes, you can look at it and know what it needs more of, right?
Yeah, and your ingredients are never exactly the same. Your flour today and your flour tomorrow, and your buttermilk.
Right.
So you've got to feel it, and you got to trust your instincts.
Absolutely. And there's atmospheric, that goes into it, especially with baking. So for this recipe with 2 cups of flour, we're going to use about 2/3 cup of buttermilk, which I'm going to use my chef eye on. What do you think, Chef? About 2/3 cup?
You got it.
Boom.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Hey, while I start mixing this up, I'm
Yeah.
going to cut some butter and put it in the freezer.
Perfect.
You wanna grab
I'll
that
go
out?
get it.
Thank you, Chef. So I'm going to take our fork and almost like making pasta, I'm going to slowly start incorporating this buttermilk into the flour until it beads up and you get those nice little clumps.
So, Justin, is there a reason why we put the butter in the freezer as opposed to using room temperature butter?
Absolutely. So with this butter, we want it to stay solid as far along through the cooking process as possible. What that's going to do, there's water content in your butter. As the heat hits it, that's going to start to steam. That's going to separate your layers, give you the nice, flaky layers of your biscuit.
So that is exactly the same thing as croissant and a laminated dough.
Laminated dough.
You know, so by making sure that your butter is ice cold, it allows the melting to be slower than the baking.
Exactly.
Which when the melting is slower than the baking, it develops layers. And that's what makes biscuits and what makes croissants really nice and beautiful.
Absolutely.
And when he said south, it's true. South of France, south of the US.
So this is really where the hands come into play. I mean, there is really no way to make biscuits without your hands. Anybody that says put it in a mixer, do it with a fork, they're lying to you. Somebody's southern grandmother is turning over in their grave. So one real cool trick that I learned from my friends Kelsey and Sarah when they came up to Minnesota from Top Chef to do their biscuit little demo is when we take this frozen butter, we're gonna take little clumps and push it between our hands. What that's gonna do is flatten out the butter, and then those little sheets of butter are gonna be in between all of your layers of biscuit, and then you're gonna end up with all those nice big flaky layers.
That's awesome. I mean, it just shows you that when that recipes are really, there's only one recipe, and then there is a variant to that recipe. So you have bouillabaisse in France, gumbo,
right.
You have cioppino, but they all are one recipe. You have laminated dough, and they all have the same techniques.
At this point, we're gonna dump out onto the counter. This is where we really need to get some forearm strength into this. Get that butter mixed in nice. And you can see the biscuit dough seems really dry, but as we incorporate and kind of break up some of those little pockets, as that butter starts to just melt a little bit, that's gonna bind this together.
The water is going to start coming out as well, correct?
Right, exactly.
And then you notice that we left the effort to the young chef and the crepe, which is less effort. Although I can handle this kind of stuff, but I'm enjoying a lot watching Justin do it. You're doing really well, chef.
We call that PDFN. People do that for me.
Yeah, I like that. You know, I like that. Although I think we all have suffered from the PDFM syndrome. We've all had some crazy chef, French chef or American chef. Be nice. Be nice.
So I mean, speaking of things that people normally do for me, so I was working takeout at Handsome Hog last night, answering the phones, and this woman calls in, and I'm taking the order, and she goes, "Hold on. Is this Justin from Top Chef?" I was like, "Yeah." She goes, "You answer your own phone?" I said, "You know what? These are end times. I have to do everything now." She said, "Hold on. I'm going to call right back so I can record the phone call."
Did you call back?
She called back
I love it.
and recorded our order.
I love it.
So yeah, sometimes us chefs have to knead our own dough, answer our own phones, devein our own shrimp.
Yes.
The biggest thing, I think, as you can see, is what we're doing is constantly folding this dough over, because what we want are those nice layers that's going to give you that nice flaky dough. And as you can see, you know, we thought we had all that extra flour.
Yeah.
It wasn't looking, but it's slowly absorbing.
And it's incorporating into it.
And incorporating into it.
And, you know, there is no way that you can use a roller, correct?
No.
This is something that you use by hand.
Have to use by hand.
And, you know, we talked about it before, is that you know, you roll for pastries and sweets, and you use your hand for breads and the savory piece, because breads, you know, you have to feel it. You also don't want to, in the case of pizza, you don't want to take all the gases out.
Overwork it.
Yeah, overwork it, exactly. In this case right here, it really, you can feel the dough. I mean, it's starting to come together beautiful.
Right. And you see there's those nice big chunks of butter in there, and don't let that scare you. That's what you want. So about right there, I feel we're good. I think we have some nice layers.
Yeah, it looks awesome.
We got a pan, chef?
Yes, we do. We got a one of those really expensive pans that has been with me for over 40 years. I think I bought it for 45 cents.
It's probably worth more now.
It's worth a lot more, and it's seasoned.
Right. So you see all those layers there?
Oh, look at that.
I mean, look at all of those folds. I mean, that's like a croissant
It's
dough.
beautiful.
I mean, it's nice and laminated. So all of those layers were those thin pads of butter that we had. That's what's going to steam, open up, and give us a nice big flaky biscuit.
That's beautiful. Beautiful.
So at this route, we can go any different direction. We can go sweet, we can go savory. Just for a little extra color and crunch, I like to brush mine with a little bit of egg wash. And I like savory biscuits.
Yeah.
You know, you can do any sort of herb blend or anything you want on top, but we're just gonna take some nice kosher salt, sprinkle it on there, give it a nice little salt crunch on top.
So if I wanted to sort of like incorporate into the batter flavor, like if I wanted to put bacon, if I wanted to put, you can do that, correct?
Always.
Yeah.
I mean, I like to put bacon, I like to put cheese.
Yeah.
Anytime you're gonna put anything with moisture in it, like cheese, you know, you kind of watch your buttermilk because you're adding more moisture to it.
Correct.
But you can add anything: chives, bacon, cheese.
That's awesome.
And you make them
That's
sweet too. I mean, we've done berries, we've done all kinds of things in biscuits. But at this point, we're gonna take a 375-degree oven. And if you look at it, biscuits are not supposed to be pretty. Anybody that says make a pretty biscuit before it goes in the oven is absolutely lying.
Well, actually, I disagree. They're beautiful.
They're beautiful.
They're beautiful. I mean, it's really, I mean, pretty is first, it's going to taste awesome because
Right.
I know what you do, which is always awesome, but pretty is not strictly visual, correct?
Exactly.
It's about taste, it's about...
It's about those layers.
Yeah.
And that's what's beautiful. I mean, that's how you know you're gonna come with a nice, flaky, buttery biscuit. So,
And I'm just, I love, you know, I've made biscuits, but I've never made them that way. And I mix them up in a machine, you know what does a Frenchman know about fucking biscuits?
those are different biscuits too.
You know.
I mean, the drop biscuits, like you do that, and you
Yeah.
like your Bisquick.
Those you cut, correct?
you cut, yeah.
Can you cut these once they're baked?
Once they're baked, I mean,
Yeah.
they're gonna pull apart. I mean, they're gonna be nice and
Oh, awesome.
So,
So we-
375, about 12 to 14 minutes, depending on your oven.
Okay, so we made some already, and let's see how good they are.
TV magic.
Oh, look at them. Oh my gosh. Director, a little close up in here. These look amazing.
So we look at that. We've got all of our nice layers in there. It's nice and flaky, not too dense.
And you can see the moisture of the butter still there.
Yep.
Oh, these are, chef, these are awesome. These are awesome. They look fabulous.
Should we taste them?
Yeah, let's do that. Thank you.
That's a good biscuit.
I hate when biscuits are dry.
Right.
They're moist. They have a doughy but cooked flavor, which is, oh, they're so good.
Good? Thank
Yeah,
you.
very, 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 the flavor is just, it just melts in your mouth.
Wash that down with a little rum.
Yeah,
Cheers, chef.
to our industry. Oh, see this cool Minnesota vodka? Great concert tomorrow. We're gonna tell you where it's at, and all the proceeds are going to help North Stands, which helps everybody in our industry.
Yeah, so big shout out to Chad Greenway, Great Up Vodka. Appreciate your support.
Thank you. And we distributed our first checks today to a bunch of people in the industry. So this is awesome.
It'll keep going on. So yeah, like Chef said, our first we sent our first stipend checks out to people that applied for the North Stand grants, and we'll keep doing it every week. We're going to keep rolling checks out. But the only way that happens is if you guys can help support us. Buy a sticker, buy a t-shirt, do a cash donation. There's a lot of service industry workers out there who are struggling to pay their cell phone bills, car bills, even to eat. So anything you guys can do to help, we really, really appreciate it because the North Stands.
And 100% of that goes to the industry, 100%. So we're grateful to everybody involved. Thank you so much. Next week, I think we're going to do something. What should we do next week?
I don't know. Should we make pasta?
Pasta? Yeah, let's make pasta.
Let's make
Awesome.
some
Let's
pasta.
make pasta. Okay. We don't know what pasta yet, but we'll make
I
pasta.
think so.
Thank you.